we should get started. Thank you, Zareen, for starting the recording. So yeah, today is the last day of our World Breastfeeding Week celebration. What a week it's been, yeah. I feel like, there's nothing more beautiful and empowering than women holding spaces for each other, supporting each other, and uplifting each other. And when that happens, with pure intent, there's some kind of magic that happens. And I think this week was something like that. It's just, I don't know, I'm just finding it difficult to put into words. It's been an amazing week. And everyone, got together and did their part so beautifully. Starting with, of course, someone who initiated this whole thing and coordinated and pushed us and, encouraged everyone. And all of us who've been, part of it. So I think it's just been a lovely week. And there's so much we have planned for today. So today's topic is Breastfeeding 101. So actually a lot of things are relevant in this topic. We have a couple of speakers who are going to speak from their personal experiences. And then we're going to close the session and the celebration with Nutan ji and Saman. So, chalo, let's get started. The recording is on. So actually one of the first topics we wanted to talk about is when do you start breastfeeding, right? And the golden hour. So I wanted to talk about my experience. I was very fortunate to birth both my babies at Birth Village. So we had a natural delivery without any medical intervention. Has my video frozen? No, okay. Can I have as many? I'd really like to see some faces here. Everyone's put their video on, everyone's videos off. So whoever's comfortable, please, love to see your faces. Thank you, Nutanji. So, yeah, I remember with both my kids, the moment they were born. So I was in the goddess position, the squat position. The moment they were born, Priyanka, kept them on my chest. And, I was taken to the bed. And at that point, my babies were put on my abdomen, right? And on their own, right? This is a baby which is 5 minutes old, right? That baby has the intuition, the knowledge, the instinct to find the breast by itself. So my babies, like, they were on my abdomen and they slowly, like inched forward and they brought their face near one of my breasts. And I just sort of helped him just thoda position and he latched. And that's all there was, And it was magical. Like I really understand why it's called the golden hour. And we were skin to skin the whole time, my husband and me. So we were alternating between ourselves. And I just thought it's such a beautiful way to start the baby's journey earthside. Right. So yeah, this was my experience with the golden hour and with initiating breastfeeding. Within, I think it was 10 minutes by the time we came to the bed, and maybe 15 minutes. In 15-20 minutes, the baby had started breastfeeding. So I think, they say the earliest we can. Sorry, I think my video is glitching. I will just turn it off. Yeah. So that was my experience. Sonia, are you here? Okay, I don't see Sonia. Zareen, do you want to go next? You could, the forum is open. You can talk about your initial experience, the first 6 months. Zareen, can you hear me? Okay, maybe Zareen will take some time. Is there anybody else wants to share the basics of breastfeeding, or Zareen, someone's asked me to record it on cloud. I hope the recording is happening on cloud. Okay, I think Zareen, Saman, I'll check with us. Saman, do you want to go next? Oh, I see Sonia is here as well. Okay, I think everyone's taking a bit of time. Nutan ji, do you have anything to share with? Okay, Sonia is here. Sonia is here.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Sonia. Okay. Sonia, please go on.
Okay, so hi, I am Sonia Ved. I am a mother of two children, two boys who are 15 and 11 now. And I'm a birth doula, lactation professional, childbirth educator, and I work around mummies and babies. But here I would, Fibin, can you just tell me what we are discussing so that I just don't.
Sure. Sonia, you can talk about, what we were discussing yesterday, challenges around breastfeeding. You can talk about latching, supply, tongue tie. And, it's lovely how you were saying you can bring in perspective as a doula, as a lactation consultant, as a mother. So it'll be really nice to have that varied perspective. Oh, did we lose Sonia? Oh, I think we did. Okay, while we wait for her, Zareen, do you want to just continue?
Yeah, sure. So I guess for my topic, I'll talk a little bit about kind of the weaning off of the breast as naturally as possible, because with my first three, the first one wasn't a natural weaning with him, where I was about 17, 18 months postpartum. And I have had multiple miscarriages in the past where I had become pregnant at that point and was still nursing him and was experiencing a miscarriage, where the first time around, the medication that the doctors had given, which was very strong, they had said, you can't. And I was also one to get pressing and stopping with like the medication and everything that was going on at that point. I wish I had just pumped and then dumped it and then proceeded to continue nursing again afterwards. But it's also like, as we grow, we know better and we do better. So that point, I think it was tragic for myself as well as for my son, where it was like a cold turkey, really harsh, I would say, for stopping the nursing. And it was like a lot of like crying and comforting him. And he was old enough at that point, but it was still also like an abrupt stop to the journey that we had hoped to continue for longer. So that was like the first experience. With my twins, that one was a longer progression where I nursed them till 4.5 years old, where it was basically they stopped on their own. And then before I got pregnant with my son, I'd pretty much stopped nursing for probably about a few months at least before I'd gotten pregnant again. So that was where the progression was. It was a gradual progression where first it was okay, feeding on demand throughout their first couple years of life. And then slowly it was around 17 months to 2 years or so, where at that point it was, okay, we're not going to do any more night nursing. We'll nurse before you go to bed, when you wake up, and then kind of continue throughout the day for whenever they wanted to have milk. And then it just kind of slowly progressed to more being just maybe before nighttime, or if they hurt themselves, or kind of as like a comfort tool for them as well too. And that just kind of continued on until they were ready to stop. And at that point, like 4.5, they were like, one would get upset that she wasn't getting any milk from her side, because with the twins, even though initially I would alternate breasts, because sometimes one might have larger sucking power than the other. So to keep the milk supply kind of equal, I would alternate. And then as they grew older, they each had their own side. So it was like, this is my side. And that just kind of prevented any hogging, any fighting between the two of them, to say, okay, this is her side, that's her side. And I noticed a difference also like in the milk supply and stuff between the two based off of what they drank and what their sucking strength was as well. But it was, for them, it was more just a slow progression where I was okay with nursing them as long as they wanted it, and then kind of just gradually stopping. And at that point, I think for me, it had been such a long journey that it was really sad and disheartening, because my youngest one was a surprise. I wanted him, but he was also like a surprise baby, I guess. So it's also when you go through the breastfeeding journey, when it's like your last one, it's like you have that attachment to say, okay, am I ready to actually release that extra bond that I already have with the child, where whenever mom and baby are both ready is when it should, you should feel the need to kind of slow down and stop. And it's just, for most, it's a gradual progression, but there's always usually 3 stages where it's the continuously feeding on demand, then also making it work for the mom, then kind of slowing down with like the night feed so that baby can sleep through the night, mom can also sleep through the night, and then either making up those feeds throughout the day or just kind of supplementing the feeds with nutrition and food intake as they get older. And then again, just kind of stopping completely slowly whenever the mom and baby are both ready. So that's kind of been my journey. And with my last one right now, it's probably going to be the same thing where he'll nurse as long as he wants to, as we're pretty much done having kids. So it'll probably be the same. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Zareen. And thank you. That was very informative. And I really like what you said about, when it's your last one, you kind of want to hold on to it. So that's where like my second one just 1 year old, and hopefully it's the last one. So then I'm like, I'm gonna take it on for a while. So yeah, I completely resonate with that. Sonia, you're back. Shall we have you?
Yeah, right. Thanks, Fibin. So yeah, I wanted to share that, as a mother, when I started, so I took some classes with Nutan ma'am herself that really made me informative with my first one. And I was really very good with breastfeeding. He latched on. And so the kind of birth experience I had, I was, at the end of it, I was like, just take that away. It's okay. It's over. Whatever happened has happened. Now just give me my baby. I want to breastfeed my baby. And I just took him. I latched on him. It was such a lovely latch. And I was in tears. And when I was still think about that day, I still feel those goosebumps, those tears. So I really had a very good breastfeeding journey with my first one, with my elder one. And then I decided to have another baby. So yeah, with the weaning, I'm talking about 15 years ago. So anything happens to you, stop breastfeeding. And I always had this kind of connection with my baby, with my son, that, when even he was in womb, I used to interact with him. And I felt that connect even afterwards. So when he was around 1 year, 2 months, I got really bad calcium deficiency. And the first thing that the doctor told me to stop breastfeeding. And he was completely on, taking his meals, and he was doing fine. So I just thought that maybe this is the way. And so I spoke to my son. I said, the doctor has told me to stop feeding you. Are you ready? He was just looking at my face, and I didn't give him the milk, and I offered him giving the milk by glass, and he took that. And slowly, gradually, whenever he even used to, once in a while I wanted to feed him, he would never come to me. He would reject. He would hug me, kiss me, but he would not feed on my breast directly. So I had this feeling in my heart. And when my second son was born, I really couldn't breastfeed. It used to pain a lot. It used to bite a lot. My nipples became sore, infected. I really don't want to breastfeed him. And I started with formula myself, which made him sick. He got some infection. So again, I was back to feeding, and the support around me was so traumatic. What kind of a mother are you? You don't want to feed your baby. The WHO recommends feed your baby exclusively for 6 months. And I was like, I want to feed my baby. I can express. But at the same time, my supply went down because maybe it was me who didn't want to. And it was so much overwhelming. And as a, as a lactation professional, somewhere, Febin, I feel that I am not forcing mothers to feed this. I'm always trying to listen to mothers because I felt that I was not heard. I was being judged. And that was the reason of my reluctance towards feeding my second one. So when he got sick, in spite of, nobody told me the deep latch. Always, everybody, even the pediatrician, even the doctors, even the doctor I met who was a lactation supportive, even she told me many a things. But somehow I just tried and just, myself with the deep latch, I got it, that it got better. And then I breastfed him for around quarter to 2 years. And then it was a time when I really felt that, I can't take it anymore because he just used to keep on latching because maybe what he felt. And that was a time when I felt that now I think I should let it go. And I slowly again spoke to him. We did that, I asked him, are you ready? He wanted to come quite a while, but then he really weaned off himself. But what I would like to just put here is that, and so my curiosity started that why did this happen? Because, I have fed my elder one, and why was this happening? And then why did this happen? He was always on a low growth scale, the all the milestones were delayed and everything because he was not gaining much of weight. Even he was completely breastfed, even when he started weaning, complementary feeding. So I always was looking for, and then I came to know about, the lactation professional certifications, and I came to know about tongue ties. And now I came to know that my son had tongue tie. And in fact, both of my sons have tongue ties. My elder one also have tongue ties. And that gave me a reassurance that all those mothers who are listening, that yes, it's hard with a tongue tie baby, but all you need is good support around you, people who can hear you, who can hear your pain. Secondly, all tongue tie babies can breastfeed. It's not that 100% cannot breastfeed. You will not get there. You have challenges. With my elder one, I didn't even came to know. I didn't even realize he was always gaining weight. He was sleeping well. He was doing all of the things were going very well. But maybe the rough start, the lack of support that led me to, take on my journey. But tongue ties babies can breastfeed. You can feed your babies, but all you need is good support around you, good information around you, and try it for the deep latch, where the baby is not slipping and coming on the tongue, on the nipple, which really makes it hard and painful. So I just wanted to share this. Last time when I spoke, I just thought that I came as a professional. I just came, discussed what is it, but I really want to share what's in my heart. And I still have that bond. I still, my children still feel that my younger one still says, he's 11 now. He keeps his head here. And always when he's hugging me, Mama, I feel good when I keep my head here. And then once he heard me talking to other parents that how babies feel safe here, then he instantly, this was when he was 7. Oh, now I know that, why do I feel good around the breast, Mama? And so babies do feel a lot. They do feel their mamas. And weaning is a very, very emotional part. But I think somewhere down the line, we have to accept that what are people telling us around us? You don't want to breastfeed. Some people are very much, uh, they feel really bad for you that why are you breastfeeding your child beyond 1 year? Why are you feeding beyond 2 years? And if you don't breastfeed, they're also saying, why are you not feeding your child? So I think it's good that you take your calls. You hear people who really hear you and support you. And if you can't find them, start ignoring and start looking for the people or the tribe, the support groups that can really hold you. Because now we have a lot of that space where women can feel safe, where mothers can feel safe. And one such platform is this. So I think all this journey of coming into this world of supporting mothers came from my own journey. And lactation is definitely very, very close to my heart.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for being so vulnerable with us and for sharing your heart with us. I think it's touched all of us, your story. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, I really agree with you, you know, where you say ki we shouldn't force mothers to do anything, yeah. You know, like let the mothers take the call. Our job is to just provide support, provide the information, and let each mother decide, you know, what journey she wants to have with her child.
Yeah.
And you know, I always believe that, you know, breastfeeding is a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And it's to work for both the baby and the mother.
Right.
It's not something the mother is doing to the child. I feel it's something the child and the mother are doing together. And
Right.
and yeah, it needs to work for both.
And many a times I have noticed, Fibin, that, you know, when I am with a mother whom I'm supporting as a professional, and, you know, she's asking me something, and I just listen her. Okay, how did you arrive here? Can I know something more about it? And then she says that, you know, I want to join work, or, you know, my family is saying, okay, what do you think? Then I just give them the information. And trust me, every mother whom I've met, she wanted to, but it was the situations around her that she couldn't, or she didn't want to, or she wanted some solution. When she had that information and that support that somebody is hearing her, I mean, maybe it's my eyes that feel or my heart that feels because I've been there, but I've seen that, yes, they all did. And they all have been either intermittently or, you know, fully breastfeeding their children for more than 2 years now as well. There are many mothers. So one size doesn't fit all, and one statement doesn't fit all as well. So I feel that, you know, we should create that ripple effect, that hear the mother. Okay, why are you thinking that? Why do you want to do that? Is there something you want to share with me? So we all women can just hear them, each other, non-judgmentally, not feeling that, okay, my story is this, but how can't you do it? It was so easy for me. For being mother of two, I had one very good experience with one, but very nightmare experience with the second one. And that led me to postpartum depression as well. It was hard. And I didn't know. I was still carrying it. I just got over it a couple of years ago. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. And I like what you said. Hear the mother. It should be like a chant, you know, hear the mother, hear the mother.
Right.
So thank you. Thank you, Sonia. Janani, you're here. Would love to hear from you about your first 6 months, you know, any positions you specifically used, anything about your journey.
Yeah. So I have two daughters. My first one will turn 6 soon, and the second one will turn 1 by September. So first one was the cesarean, and they did not give me the baby for one whole day, and she was on formula. She was in the NICU. She had some breathing trouble. She was on some IV. I did not know about anything. I kept asking the sisters, and they did not want to tell anything to me. And they did not even reveal the gender of the baby, you know. So only after only after they allowed the relatives to visit, my husband, my mom, and 7, just a minute.
Nana first baby, our second baby.
She's telling that she's the first one and her sister's the second.
Okay, nice to know you're the second baby.
So yeah, so they did not even tell me anything. So only when the relatives came, my mom, husband, and the others, So I just got to know from them. So she was on formula feed for around 5 days when I was there in the hospital. But I tried latching more and more since I heard that demand gives the supply. So I just wanted to feed her as and when possible. And since it was cesarean, I was not able to sit for a long time. And nobody taught me about side lying position. I can lie and breastfeed the baby. Nobody taught me all that. And I also did not do my research, So I just blindly followed what my gynae told, what the elders told in the family and all that. But latching and all was all going good. And after, when I left the hospital, I ditched the formula box in the trash and left home. And after that, and she was completely breastfed. So I would try to latch more and more, and she was also comfortable with that. And there would be a few days, during the growth spurts and when she was teething and all, I would feel very difficult, like continuous feeding and all that. I was like,
ಇದು ಮೆಸೆಂಡ್ರಿಕಲ್
எனக்கு அது கேட்காது, அதுலதான் ஸ்பீக்கர் ப்ளீஸ். ஓகே, இது அம்மா பக்கத்துல வைங்க ப்ளீஸ். So I would feel at some times, so why did I choose to breastfeed, because there was not much of support system in the family. So I was like, oh, why did I choose to breastfeed, it's I feel good if I can stop. Then the next moment I was like, no, there would be something missing, like when she sleeps, when she will breastfeed throughout, I would feel, why did I choose to breastfeed? And when she would be sleeping so peacefully, looking at that tiny face, toes, limbs and all, I was like, oh, so how cute. So this is the only bond that I share, So if I stop it, I feel like there's something missing in me. So I would lose some perfect moments, I would feel like that. But then persistently, I was able to feed her till 4.5 years when she self-weaned. And that too because I guess the elders in the family, they were like, you are such a big girl, you have grown, why do you still have to breastfeed? Chichi, all would say chichi, all that. So I guess it's because of that she stopped. I am telling this because after I birthed my second, I am still tandem feeding both my kids. So she wanted to breastfeed after the second one was born, and I was open to it. And even now, for the comfort and for the safety, she comes and breastfeeds. So I guess it was just because the elders were telling, and she was um, feeling bad and all that, And with the second born, I had a natural birth in Birth Village, Cochin. And there I had the golden hour, breast crawling, all that I wanted was honored there. And I did a lotus birth, and she was a very calm and happy baby. She did not feed much in the initial days, and I was like, my firstborn was feeding throughout the day, and I did not get time to sleep only, She wouldn't leave my breast. But this girl is like, she was happily sleeping, and she was not crying first of all. So I was able to hear her cry only when I birthed her, and after that she did not cry, and for long hours she would not take feed, and I would actually wake her up to feed because the nurses, they were telling her have to, I mean, being so small, I should keep her hydrated well, and I should feed her at least 2 hours once. But even when I tried to wake her up, she wouldn't wake up. It was very difficult feeding her in the initial days because she was happily sleeping. Her urine output was good and all that. So I was like, what is this, man? The first one will not leave, I did not leave my breast. And the second one is happily sleeping all by herself. So I did not know if the difference in birthing attributed to it, or I was also mentally very peaceful and happy during my second pregnancy, which is not the case with the first one due to some family issues. So I did not know what contributed to it, but then I feel happy now. And I had latching issues in the left side of my breast with the second one. And there was Nasila, the lactation consultant in birth village, who was very sweet, who dropped by my home and helped me latch, and taught me few tricks here and there. And then I knew I can I can feed her in the sideline position. Till then, for my firstborn, throughout the 4.5 years, I have only sat and I have fed. No other position. Even in the night, how many ever times she wakes up, I would sit, put her on my lap, and then feed her. But then with the second born after Nasila came, she taught me how to side lie. And it was initially a little difficult because I hadn't tried, and it was the first time I'm trying some different positions, So with the sideline position, it was easier to latch in the left side of my breast. And now with this little angel, she feeds in all directions. She would be in the football position, and she would come behind me, and then come here, and she would feed like this, and all the positions she's trying by herself. So I need not do anything. Whatever is comfortable for her, she's trying all the positions that's available to her. She would stand, she would sit. Now she's now 10 months and she's now walking. I would rather say she's running, So she would just feed, come, take a feed, then go, then come, take a feed, then go. So, just a minute. So for people who don't understand Tamil, she says her sister has started walking. So when I stop, and I would also like to add one more thing. When I stopped breastfeeding for my first one, I felt like some part of me was missing. She just suddenly, it was not a gradual weaning also. Since she was old enough to understand and all that, suddenly one day she's like, Amma, I'm not going to take feeds anymore. And she suddenly stopped. And throughout the day when you're feeding your kids, because after 2.5 years and all, it was just for the comfort. And even then she was taking her night feeds. I did not wean her off. So I was working. I was a working mother also. So since I'm unschooling them, I took her along with me to my workplace also. So I'm a practicing chartered accountant. So I'm not employed. So it was easy for me to take her to the office, feed her and all that. And even at times when I had to visit colleges as a faculty and all, I would pump and give it to my mom, who would feed her through bottles. But that was very in rare cases. But suddenly once she stopped, I felt a lump here, and I wasn't able to digest. I'll be the one who will go and ask her, Karna, once, do you want to try? We'll go inside, nobody will see and all that. And she's like, no, ma, I have become a big girl. I have grown up now. I do not want to take and all that. So I don't know how I can explain that feeling, but I feel there's some part of me missing, So, and now seeing the second one and hitting her milestones very easily, and she is now preferring solids over breast milk. All those thoughts are again rushing through my head. Like, what if she stops? What if she stops very soon? Because my mother would tell me, I'm the elder one and I have an younger brother. She would tell me I took till 1.5 years, and my brother stopped at 8 months because he was preferring solids over breast milk. And I also have a personal experience of weaning off my first daughter. I did not, I mean, she self-weaned. So these thoughts are now just rushing at the back of my head. And every day I question myself, what if she stops? What if she stops? So I don't know how to overcome this. So this keeps rolling in my head now and then. But I just cherish every moment that we have together, As Sonia was saying, and as Feben, you were telling, it is the relationship that both the mother and the child shares together. So neither can we force the mother, nor can we force the kid to take feeds. So I hope this tribe keeps me sane even when the second one stops feeding, because I'm not able to digest that fact that she would wean off at some time, at some point. And sorry.
Sorry, I thought you were done. So I had a question, but please go on.
Yeah, please tell me.
So you said when she was teething, because that's exactly the stage that I'm at right now. I have a 1.5-year-old, and I was first planning to myself start slowly weaning her, introducing more solids till the age of 2, because I thought, okay, by 2, WHO recommends weaning, so I will try that. So initial days she ate very well, and then when she started teething, which has been last few months, she's completely stopped eating. She only wants to feed. And so while milk supply went down, now I feel she's demanding more milk supply, so it's coming back. But at the same time, it's been difficult because, like you said, she's always wanting feed, like all the time, just not letting go, never letting go. And because I'm a working mom and I don't actually live with in-laws or with family, and I don't have house help, it's very difficult to do these 3 tasks at the same time. And I find myself recently, just this morning, in fact, which is why I gave her to my husband. I said, you keep her. If I don't join today's breastfeeding week meeting, I'm never going to be able to find a perfect moment to ever join, because she was just not letting go. And I was finding myself feeling so helpless because I feel that she's not getting enough milk. That's why the one pediatrician keeps marking her on the thinnest of the chart. And my mother keeps apologizing for, oh yes, my daughter's still feeding. And at the same time, I'm worrying only because I feel she's not getting enough food, and because I can't get her. I mean, she's always on the breast, whether it is for comfort or attachment, I don't know. There is no other caretaker except me and my husband. So it's not that she doesn't get to see mama. She sees mama morning and night. And so I'm not sure what it is about the teething phase that is making her want milk and only milk. And I'm worried that, is this enough? And how did you manage that time when you said she just wanted milk and you were also working, and you said it got a little difficult
It
during that
was,
time. So how?
yeah, Simran, to be very honest, it was not at all easy. Now, thinking back, you know, just running through those beautiful moments, I am cherishing it now, but at that time, it was very difficult. There were times I would cry myself to sleep, and it was as it with no support. The only thing was that I was not employed and I am a professional, so that's my office. So I had all the liberty to do whatever I wanted to do. So I would schedule and reschedule the clients' appointments, and our um, the peak times would only be the filing times, tax filing times. So apart from that, during the June, July, August, September, those 4 months was very difficult. I did not know how I sailed through, but I kept persistently telling. And now that you see Gargi's pencil sketches, I am not a very good person who can draw or anything, but then I just drew a sketch of mine and my daughter breastfeeding, and I wrote this too shall pass, and then in my phone wallpaper, I kept my daughter's feeding photo. I took a selfie and took that pic in the wallpaper. And whenever I feel so, we do not have access. I did not have access to mobile all the while because I was juggling between work and kids. So I did that portrait so that it was there as a visual aid for me whenever I wanted, and whenever possible, when I take my mobile, the first thing that would pop up is the pic of me and my daughter, and me feeding her. So at least I am a visual person, and that kept me a little sane to
Little
go,
grapes.
but it
Ma,
was not at all easy.
Amma,
There were times I would
Amma,
just a minute,
Parensa.
sir.
Little grape.
So it was not at all easy, and as I told you, I would cry myself to sleep few days. And there were times, even after 2 years, she would be constantly on breast. As I told you, I did not know about the sideline position and all that during my first birth. So every time she wakes up, I would sit, I would put her on my lap, and that's the only position I know of. So there were few days when I would put her on lap. When I put her down, she wouldn't sleep. She'll wake up again and she wants to
Ma,
drink milk. So there were times when I have put her on my chest. I found that it. I found that she was a little comfortable on my breast, as Sonia was saying. I found out that she was a little and that took me 2 years to understand that. And she was a little comfortable on my chest. So after feeding and after she was asleep, I'll slowly try to change the position, put her on me, and I would sit, and slowly I'll slide down to the sleeping position. So these visual aids, there were times when I was thinking, um, is it time to stop? Is it time to wean her off? Though there were not much support, there were people telling me it's high time that you stop breastfeeding. They were not there to support me, but they would come and tell easily that it's time to stop. You are overdoing it. If you keep on doing like this, the baby will not take solids. Because the first one was like that. she preferred breast milk over soy. Now that she's all fine, but then during those times, when she was around 2 years and all that, they were like, when you keep giving her breast milk, she would prefer breast milk. She would not take solids. I had to go through so much, and with no support or no tribe or to people whom I can talk to, be vulnerable, just to vent out, I did not have anybody. So, but then my husband was a great support. Um, so every time I would just tell him, just listen to, at least be there to listen to, I just do not want anything else. Just be there and listen to me. So that's the only thing that I told him, and that kept me sane, I guess. And the visual aids helped me. I just drew a very, I'll try to find that and send it to you over, it was a very amateur sketch. And as I told you, I kept that photo in the wallpaper also. And I kept daily morning affirmations because I did not have anything else to resort to, I hope this helps.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
And Simran, I just wanted to say, of course, again, the decisions between you and your child. But just talking about the WHO recommendation, it doesn't recommend you to wean at 2. It says minimum 2, and after that, it's up to you. The recommendation is not to wean at 2. So just thought I should get that in. And, when a child is feeding a lot, generally, what I've seen from our journey as well, they have a great sense of self-regulation. And if they're feeding, that means that's what they need at that point, right? So when they're sick, they stop eating solid, they start, feeding a lot more. That's because their body needs that right now. Now, again, whether that is working for you, given you're working and everything, that's for you to decide. What I'm trying to tell you is the child is not doing anything wrong, right? And yeah, I'm also very happy to connect offline with you. This weight thing and this chart thing and this percentile thing, I have seen both the times during both my kids, and I've also gone through that worrying phase to now I don't care phase. So I'll be very happy to connect with you offline as well, and we can talk about 2 percentile and 3 percentile and all those numbers.
I stopped looking at the chart and numbers for my second one. After that trauma with my first one, now for my second child, I don't bother at all. She's fine, active, well and good. That's all I'm concerned about right now. With my firstborn, with all the charts, the growth one, the head, some 3 things they tell, no, some head thing.
Head circumference.
Yeah. It's very traumatic.
Yeah, if
Sonia,
I could
okay.
add a little there.
So, your volume is a little less.
Hello, I'm trying to speak softly. I still have another.
Sure.
So I just wanted to speak a little about that weight thing and how the babies look, because breastfed babies may or may not look as chubby as formula fed babies, but they will be super active. Their immunity will be super good. They will be pooping like super well all the time. And a lot of the times people would be like, children are only on breast milk. Like, they wouldn't see them enjoy cooked food as much. They would really enjoy fruits and all, raw organic fruits. That's what they like. They don't like a lot of roti and dal and sabzi. I mean, I think that's also because now we don't have organic vegetables, It's very difficult to source them. So their bodies realize it. They realize that this is not feeding me what I need. Their bodies would, like Kyra, my eldest daughter, she would just smell something and she would know that something is off. I don't have that sense. She would take one bite and say, I'm not going to have this. I said, but you asked for it, you asked for finger chips. So we got these made for you, but you're not having it. So she's like, but I don't feel like having it. And then she would again go for the breastfeeding. But when I see them, it's I'm sorry that I'm not sorry, but the way I describe poop, it's such a beautiful poop. It would look like, and you would actually, sometimes I would wonder that all they had was milk. How did they end up pooping like that? And then others would also be curious as to how are they so active? How are they so chirpy? How are they so talkative? How are they so, touch wood, alhamdulillah, and their immunity. And I also had lotus births. In fact, the first time around, um, when Priyanka placed, my firstborn was at the birth village. So when Priyanka placed her on my chest, I started feeding her instantly. And for 15 minutes, we didn't even bother asking if it was a boy or a girl. It didn't matter. Like, it struck to me later, is it Kaira or Kabir? Like, we had thought of names before, and then she's like, why don't you pick up and see for yourself? And that's when my husband picked up the baby and we saw that Kaira was here. So, it didn't even matter who it was. And we also had lotus birth all the 3 times. And then if Janani, you can speak a little about that also, or we can have a session. I don't think this is going to stop with the breastfeeding week. So, but in lotus birth, you don't disconnect the placenta, umbilical cord from the placenta. So you're holding like 2 babies together, and that freaks people out. But this is an ideal situation, because what happens now is that the baby is taken away in the hospitals and circulated around with all the family members, and it reaches the mother in the end. But when you have a placenta and a baby together, nobody really wants to come close. So, and that is ideal, because then that's what the baby needs. It needs to be closer to the mother or the father, and be in their radar, and skin to skin and all of that. And that helped me immensely. So in fact, I did not even notice them losing their birth weight. Neither of them lost their birth weight when they were born. Um, uh, and But it is true. I mean, as much as I love breastfeeding, there are nights when I cry myself to sleep. Teething is a problem. When they are sucking on one breast and playing with the other, it doesn't feel nice. And I'm not very good at setting boundaries. My husband has been so supportive. I, in my personal life, do not have a reference point. I've never seen a man being so involved with the children. But and he's really, so we are unschooling, and he's the do nothing parenting. He would never school the children. All of that is there. But I would feel that he's the one who saw my struggles closest. And I felt like he did not acknowledge it. Somehow we don't have we can't have smooth conversations. We are in a state of flow. We do a lot of things very well together, but he's not the person I can uh, uh, bank upon to just hear me out without judging me. When I'd say, when one time in out of 10 times, if I would say that I don't feel like feeding just now because I'm starving or I'm a little touched out, maybe in 10 minutes. And then he would refer to the tribes and say that, how they always have, that there's something that I'm not doing right. So I say that he supported me. I couldn't have continued breastfeeding for so long, and tandem nursing and public breastfeeding, because I had nobody in the family or my friend circle, who had done something similar. But at the same time, I think it went a little too far. And the other thing was, I was always starved. Like, I always needed to eat. And he was very conscious of what you take. Like, it's very important for you to have the right thing. Like I was fond of coffee, but I didn't drink coffee because I was either pregnant or breastfeeding, you know. So, but there came a point when I was just like, I can't, you know, I need it because, you know, there's this rush of oxytocin. I'm lying down, feeding in a lying down position. And I, I need a little bit of something to just wake me up, you know. I need a little bit of something just for myself after giving so much. So it's a very mixed um, feeling and journey and ride, and there are no black and whites. And like I had mentioned that day, that even though I had all three of my births were natural and beautiful, and those are stories that, you know, will go a long way. That's what people come and tell me, you know. It inspired me to think of something, you know, like this. But there will be nights when it doesn't feel as rosy. There will be moments in the same day, you know. Just a couple of nights ago, I wanted was um my husband to take one child to the other room so I could feed the other child to sleep. But sometimes it could take you know, it could take 20 minutes, and we were both exhausted, you know. And if especially two children fall sick at the same time, and there's no other support, there's nobody else to hold the babies, so he's also exhausted. So he'd say, can I just stay here? But then one child would make noise, so the other won't be able to sleep, so that would stretch the whole process for 3 hours. And I would be shedding tears while I'm breastfeeding, while thinking that this is because all my feelings and emotions are also getting transferred into the child. So I don't want to feel distressed doing this, but then I do sometimes. And I want to be able to overcome this. So what I'm really hoping for is that, along with you know, expressing ourselves, because a lot of the times that's all we need to just, you know, a catharsis to somebody to vent in front of. But I really feel we can actually come up with some practical solutions, because like Karan always keeps suggesting, why don't you, you know, initiate a healer's tiffin, you know, somebody, like if you can't cook because you're breastfeeding and you don't have other support, maybe somebody can cook for the mothers in the neighborhood who don't at least have to think about that, you know. Something is provided every 6 hours. So we have to somehow, and we don't have access to minerals. The water doesn't have minerals, the food that we are eating doesn't have minerals, and actually our depression may not be so much because of the physical activity that we are indulging in, but because our body does not have the resources or the minerals to deal with that situation. So we have to kind of also eventually figure out of the way things are, if whether it is community living or whether it is, you know, starting a kitchen where one mother says that I'm going to cook today for everybody, and the next day somebody else can cook, something like that, you know. So it eases things out. Just wanted to share that part. But weight has nothing to do with it. You should always check how active and happy the baby is, and if they are pooping all right, and that will suggest, you know, that will tell you that they are okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Saman, for keeping it so real.
Can I add something here?
Yeah, Sonia, sorry, your hand's been up for a while.
No issues. I was listening to Saman. I just, you know, wanted to share here, Fibin, that, you know, it reminded me when I told you now that people around you, how they judge you. And they are the people whom you trust, your doctor, your family. And it really gets onto your mind that, you know, yes, I have to feed him more. I have to feed, my baby is not gaining weight. We forget that the baby is also feeling all that. And either we are overfeeding the baby, we are pushing the baby, and babies do get affected. And I have been there, where I just used to overfed my elder one. But during my younger son, what I started was, I used to, so my husband's dadi used to tell me that, you know, you always set a plate for your child whenever you are eating so that they learn eating. So I started giving him his plate along with mine, and he started weaning. So that what we do today now. I did this 11 years ago, like 10 years ago. I used to make him sit with me, give him some food, and he started eating. I never overfed him. So I think that that mindset comes from us, and this teething part where the children bite. So again, it reminded me that maybe it can help you as well, because we are always thinking about what people tell us, and we get affected by that. We think that it's true, the baby should not bite. That's baby's way of feeling uh, good with you, because the baby can, when they feel that irritation in their gums, they are in your lap, they are closer to you, they are not biting you to hurt you, they are basically want to just get over with it. So I used to just, as I told you, that I used to talk to them a lot. I used to tell them, no, it's hurting mama, it's hurting mama. And babies do hear that. Babies do feel what mamas feel. So he used to suck for a while, and then he used to both of them, they used to again then bite. And I don't know, Dudu, if you do this, mama pain. And they used to feel that. And that really helped me. So probably if you are hearing, and Simran, I hear you, when the babies want to just feed, and they don't want to eat. Many mothers I've come across, they also feel this. And engaging. So baby basically is somewhere, this is what I feel. I can now keep my camera on. So babies somehow feel that, this is the time that I'm getting with my mother, so I don't need anything else to eat, but this is it. So setting up a plate really helped me. Talking to them, massaging times. So some involvement apart from breastfeeding may really help with the eating part. And this is really hard, but that really helped me, because whatever you're feeling, your baby is feeling that as well. Because babies don't know ki mama is getting affected by nani's words or dadi's word or some aunt's words. So, but they are just, but they know that something is not right with mama. So they just want to be closer to their mothers. And this is now I feel that babies do feel, because even they have grown up, they still can make out that, something is, even I'm laughing. You don't laugh like this. You never smile like this. There is something going on. And I just smile a lot after that because they understand. So just trust yourself, all you mamas. You are wonderful, whether your child is on the highest scale or the lower scale. Every mama know what his or her child is eating, how much they are eating, and how are they feeling, because feeling matters. Feelings make you feel content. That contentment is a feeling, that what either it is from food, either it is from some person, that love, maybe just maybe this helps.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. We're looking to, conclude the session, and we have Nutan ji who's going to do some healing through EFT. But before that, if there's anybody who would like to share, be happy to hear. Okay, Nutan ji, over to you.
We did EFT yesterday, but I would like to share that there is, I think, Simran, who had a concern about her baby teething. So there is this biocombination medicines. They are available in homeopathic shops. They are not really medicines. They are based on salts in the body. An imbalance of salts causes certain symptoms to arise. And there is a biocombination number 20. There is you get the 12 salts separately, and you get combinations of those salts as well. And they are a very good medicine to take because they are not medicine, they're just salts. And like someone said that minerals are often lacking in the food that we eat. So there is, mag phos, which is magnesium phos, and there are symptoms with it, like mag phos is for cramps and pains. And there is something called biocombination 21, which is for teething. So if anyone's having a problem with teething, they can take that. And for, I think it was Janani who said that she has repeated thoughts that what if the baby stops feeding, right? For that, the bark flower remedies are there, they can help, right? I mean, I'm thinking of complementary systems of healing, right? Not the allopathic thing. And yes, weight is often a problem. Once I remember reading, I don't remember where, that the weight charts are actually based on bottle-fed babies. When they made those charts, the babies that were used for calculating the weight were bottle-fed babies. Therefore, mostly our breastfed babies are considered too thin according to those charts. And let's see if I made it. I think that's it. And I can do an EFT session if you like. Yes, I can. And I would also like to repeat what I said yesterday, that I do feel preparing the breast for feeding makes a lot of difference to the success of breastfeeding, as does breastfeeding at birth, like the golden hour. I think that makes,
sorry, what do you mean by preparing the breast?
I have mentioned it in my book as well. It is what all mothers used to do, and I teach it in my antenatal classes as well. All mothers used to be told to do this to prepare for breastfeeding, but these days they say, no, don't do it because you will release oxytocin and you may go into premature labor. But it doesn't really happen. I mean, my mothers have been teaching for years. When I did a course in human lactation, I stopped teaching it for a few years. After which I found a lot of people were having breastfeeding problems. So I went back to teaching breast preparation, and I still teach it, and I still feel that goes a long way in making breastfeeding successful. So you have to just clean the tip of the nipple after the 6th month of pregnancy. There's colostrum in the breast after the 4th month of pregnancy. After the 6th month of pregnancy, you clean the tip of your nipple and you draw it in and out, like hold both the nipples like this, draw them in and out 50 times, 50. And then press where the normal skin and the dark skin meet, and a little bit of colostrum may come or may not come out when you do that. If it comes, wipe it off. If it doesn't come, don't worry about it. And then apply a very thin film of any natural oil, like organic coconut oil or maybe desi ghee. Nothing fancy, nothing vitamin enriched. And it has to be applied very little. Like if there was a, let's say if this is a bottle of oil, you dip your finger in it, wipe it off the edge of the bottle, and what is left is what you apply on your nipple and areola, which is really very little. And you continue to do this when breastfeeding. After a breastfeed, you apply the oil again and you wipe it with cotton soaked in previously boiled water. It doesn't have to be hot water. Previously boiled water, and you just wipe the nipple and areola with it and feed, because you're wiping stale milk, threads from garments, perspiration, anything, and then you feed. And if you're traveling and you forgot to carry your water and your cotton, then you can just express some milk and wipe with express breast milk and feed. And after the feed, apply the express breast milk again on the nipple and areola. That's if you're traveling and you've forgotten to carry your oil and everything. Sorry, what is that? Cumin to be added to boiled water. No, nothing, just plain boiled water. No, not cumin to be added to that. Okay, I have a dental appointment, so I have to leave in 10 minutes. So we'll quickly do an EFT session. If anyone has any question, they can ask, because then I have to go for my dental appointment. Anybody has a question? Or shall we go ahead with EFT? Everybody keep a glass of water with you for the EFT. And make a resolution on what is what are you going to tap for? What is bothering you at the moment? What is, say, if it was it Janani who said she worries what if her child stops now?
Yeah, that's
right. So her sentence can be, what if my baby stops breastfeeding, right? So, and on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the worst, how much does that bother you? So if that bothers you, what number would you say it bothers you, Janani?
8 or 9. Maybe.
8 or 9, great. So that's something to tap for. But if Janani had said it bothers her a 5 or a 4, then we would look for something else that would bother her more. So each of you take something that bothers you more, right? We have many things going on in our lives. Sometimes one bothers us more, another bothers us less. So, and so we can tap. We have to, in EFT, we have to say a negative sentence, not a positive one, right? So whatever bothers you, you take. So make that your statement, right? So I have to go for a dental appointment. So my statement is, I'm really scared of, I hope I don't have pain at the dental appointment, right? So that would be my highest level right now. So I could say that, and that is your statement. So I'm going to say, even though I hope I don't get pain at my dental appointment, all of you will say your own sentence. Okay, so Janani will say hers, and whoever, all of you, whatever sentence. So if I think Simran was having pain, the baby was biting, she has, Simran, you said the baby's weight gain wasn't adequate, right? So even
Yes,
though,
that's right.
yeah, so your statement can be, even though my baby's weight gain is not adequate, I wholly and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. So we use this point at, it's called a karate chop point with 3 fingers. We tap on it like this and we say our point 3 times. So I'm just going to say your statement. I'm not going to, because everyone's statement is going to be different, right? So even though, say your statement, I wholly and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Even though, say your statement, I wholly and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Even though, say your statement, I wholly and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. The top of your head. Say your statement, tap the top of your head. Only your statement, not the whole thing again. Just say your statement. The top back of your head, say your statement. Beginning of your eyebrows, say your statement. Temples, say your statement. Under your eyes, say your statement. Under your eyes. Under your nose. On your chin. Center of your chest. Under your arms. Both of your wrists like this. Say your statement. Say your statement at the end of your thumb. Hit the nail bed at the end of your thumb. Hit the nail bed at your pointer finger. Middle finger. Little finger. Saying your statement all the time. And now you take this space between your ring finger and your little finger, and there's a hollow here. Tap on that. And as you tap on that, look sharp down right, look sharp down left, roll your eyes in a circle, roll your eyes back in an opposite direction. Hum happy birthday to you. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum again. Tap here again, saying your statement. Cover your head with your hand. Close your eyes, take 2 deep breaths. Seek divine blessing in this issue for you. Whoever you pray to, whoever the divine energy you pray to, seek that energy to bless you with this, bless you in this that you are experiencing. Now take 2 sips of water. So you take 1 sip and 1 sip, so 2 sips. And now we go again. Everybody say your statement again. Say your statement. 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 Center of your chest, say your statement. Under your arm, say your statement. Say your statement on your wrists. Say your statement. Pointer finger, say your statement. Middle finger, say your statement. Little finger, skip your ring finger. Say your statement. Karate chop point, say your statement. Cover your head again. Take 2 deep breaths. Seek divine blessing in this issue that you are experiencing to resolve it for you. And take 2 sips of water again. Now think of your issue again and see what number are you at about that same issue that you tapped for. What number are you at now?
I started with 10, 11, but I came down 2, 3.
To 2 or 3? That's nice. Very nice. What about
Janani here. So I am at 4 or 5 now. I started with 8 or 9.
okay. And Simran?
I started with 9. I'm at about 6 or 7.
Okay. So you tap for the next thing that's coming up for you. Sometimes what happens is connected with that, there's another issue that comes up. Or while you're tapping, you can tap for different things. So anybody else would like to share what is their number? What was it and what is it now? Be nice if you can share.
I think it was about 10 and it's come down to say 5.
Very nice, very nice. So like I told you all yesterday, while you're tapping for an issue, you can tap for related issues along with it in the same cycle. You don't have to do another cycle. right? Say if Simran is tapping for my baby's weight gain is not enough. My baby's weight gain is not enough. I hope I'm not doing anything wrong. Am I cooking well enough for the baby? What can I do that is a quick fix for the baby? So, there are quick fixes like you have less time, so you make khichdi, which you put it on the fire and forget about it. It's got cereals and pulses. And to that, you add whatever you have in the house or in the fridge. If you have dhania, you add dhania. If you have half a shriveled carrot, you add that to it. Literally clean up all the leftover remnants in your fridge. And if you have some meat, you can put some meat in it as well. And you can just give one CT and you're done, right? With the khichdi, you don't have to belo the rotis and all. And still it is cereal pulse, and you can put vegetables and everything else that you want or that you have in the house in it. Sometimes you don't have the time to go and buy vegetables. Then you can just, whatever little bit, one beans, half a bean got left in the fridge, one carrot got left, you can just put everything into it. And always grow herbs in your garden, like make just in a gamla, put compost, like make your compost. All your kitchen waste can go into it, organic waste. And that becomes soil. And you grow your herbs in it, dhania, pudina, anything like that. And when you're cooking, just I always put something I've grown in my garden, even if it is just seasoning. But at least it's organic. You've grown it at home. And yeah, so when you're tapping, you can just tap for different things as you're tapping, because your mind will run helter-skelter. So address everything that comes up while you're tapping, right?
Thank you, Nutan ji. That was a new experience for me.
Welcome.
Would love to learn more.
What did you start at? Your number, and what was it?
I started at 9. Honestly, I didn't. I feel like I came at a 7 or a 8.
Okay, that's okay. And sometimes when that happens, there are two possibilities. One is that we are mentally saying, how can this help? This makes no sense, right? Another thing is that we are not really connected with what is bothering us. We need to think a little more, and it may be like you may think weaning is the issue, but the issue may be, if I rejoin work, how will I wean my baby? So what is more important? That's why taking the number before you start tapping is important. That puts you in touch, but you've done it for the first time. It's a little difficult to get around it the first time sometimes. Lot of us have done it the second day today. So maybe some of you may have anyway had experience with it. That's possible.
So, and also my baby's waiting, so I'm a little stressed right now.
Yeah. So you could have tapped for my baby's waiting. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I need to leave for my dental appointment, everybody. Bye for now. It was lovely. And Saman, hats off to you. You've done a great job bringing everybody together. And this is so much nicer, the real experience people have, not the textbook information and knowledge. The real, what is the reality of it is different. And I think community is so important. And like someone said, that if someone would just cook something, or I think Sylvia had said that if someone's coming to visit you, just tell them to bring chapatis or bring some pre-cooked meal or something. Yeah, we should all, I think that's a really good idea. Like I remember when people come from abroad, sometimes they make 100 parathas and take, and they go home and freeze it. And then they have parathas for like 6 months. Every time they take out a few and have whenever they feel like. So yeah, put your mind around like how to organize. And if you don't have time, there's fruits, there's nuts, there's kishmish, if you like meetha, you put kishmish, you have walnuts and kishmish, or walnuts and, cashews, or whatever you can lay your hands on. These days we have, I think it's just finished, apricots were in season. So if you buy the apricots, if you keep the seed and you break the shell of it, you get a badam inside it. So you can collect like that also, I normally collect a bottle of badam, but I'm allergic to nuts. So the lady who cleans for me, she takes it when it's full. And sometimes when it's half full, she says, can I take it? I said, yeah, take it. Because even dry apricots, the seed gives you the nut inside. So if we just put our mind to how do I maximize whatever is there, that if you start thinking like that, you get all kinds of ideas.
Notimasi, Preeti Appa is here with the parathas and Lakshmi Didi with all the babies right now.
How nice. Hi, Preeti. Hi, good to see you. So Preeti is the first, her mom is the first person I helped with breathing when she was in labor. Help Preeti to help deliver her daughter. So yeah, Preeti is really special to me. Bye everyone. I need to go for my dental. Sorry, I wish I could have stayed. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Saman, all yours. Though just sorry, Saman, just before that, Dr. Nirmal, if we could just hear you for a couple of minutes. I know we are all really running short of time. Maybe just a minute or two, Dr. Nirmal.
Yes. I know it's already late. Actually, I'm curiously observing. Actually, I'm here just to observe what kind of perception this breastfeeding mothers have regarding the process of feeding and what are the things you're going through. See, myself, my baby is 2.5-year-old. Okay. Actually, regarding this breastfeeding, I think I was breastfed by mother up to age of 6. Why? Because I was born in a family of 58 members, like a very big joint family. So a lot of the problems which you are discussing here is not at all a problem for me in my real life scenario at that stage. But now we are in a different scenario because now we are in, like, due to some other reason, job and all these issues, we are separated from our big family. But what is, we have some traditional approach from starting this Prasudi Tantra itself, like Garbha Samskara time itself. See, one thing I want to tell is, like, see, there is a Siddharactusa, a plant we call Bella. I think it's not available now in market in that much large scale, but I think still some people are trying to do it in organic cultivation. This Siddharactusa is the
Can you hear Dr. Nirmal, or is it just me?
hello.
Yeah, we lost you for a moment.
Yes, okay. Majority of issues associated with the lack of minerals, nutrients, it will be supplemented. It's a very hardcore classical approach. Palkashayam, we'll call it in Kerala. I'm from Kerala, from a traditional background in medicine. So we call it as Palkashayam. Maybe Tamil Nadu also people might know. So it's like a Siddharactusa, you take it and add that dried powder into milk and boil it and drink 1 glass daily. So what happens is, see, a lot of issues after this delivery is associated with very specific metal ions like magnesium, sodium, calcium. It's like it's interplay. So all these postpartum issues are associated with, you see, a lot of people, they will tell that they have all psychological things, neurological things associated with this, mainly because of magnesium based mechanism. So from our studies, we have very clear data shows that this Bella is helping to support, means provide all the necessary load of magnesium and other organometallic complexes in human body. And see, in our day-to-day life, like rice soup, if you add fresh grated coconut to rice soup, we can increase this breast milk quantity. See, most of the breastfeeding mothers, including my wife, they are very much worried about quantity, quality, see, all these things. But uh, see, due to a lot of psychosomatic and environmental factors, uh, our biological system have a lot of stress and other issues. Okay, so even though we have all this nutrition, see, some people see I am so fat and I have all these things, but I have very low quality and low production of breast milk. That's because of their issue in this glucose metabolism. See, glucose metabolism have some you have to convert. No? So in our body, even though we have a lot of glucose stored in different form, it has to be properly metabolized and converted into breast milk. So I think in that regard, fenugreek, boiled fenugreek, and wild cumin. See, all these are like a home remedy things, you know. So instead of drinking this plain water, we add some wild cumin to that, and boil it. And if you start to drink, na, this can do a great job. And adding fruits like a fig, and we call like a karga. Karga means like Cynodon dactylion. It's a herbal name. So you can take this karga and make a decoction, and if you drink it, it will boost our immunity plus production of breast milk like anything. So like a lot of traditional approach is there. So I think it's a different point context of interest. So this the and another thing is like for issues like galactose, all these issues, we have very simple tricks and traditional methods to clear it. But what happens is, since we are not like, due to this modernity, we are ripped away from our roots and traditions, and these kind of access to these knowledges are actually very poor. So due to that, we always go for over the counter, means like all recommendation, standard recommendation, WHO recommendation. See, all these things are actually, we can't generalize anything, you know. Each mother and baby is different. They are unique. So they have their own ecosystem. So you had to customize in that way. All the and some most of the time, see, for example, baby is 3.5 kg after starting breastfeeding, suddenly lose the weight. It's natural actually. And people are actually overdoing by eating lot of stuff, lot of things, and overloading their body with all this nonsense. And what happens is, after delivery, baby and mother, these kind of sudden changes in their metabolism, you know, we may feel it is a kind of disorder or some health issue. Actually, this is not the case. Any baby will lose around 300, 200, 250 grams. It's quite natural actually in the initial phases, 2-3 days. I think all of you are aware of that, and most of our trained people in this domain, but I just thought to share my thought process regarding this. So it's a nice thing that this kind of even means online platforms are available to share, at least nowadays. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Back. And Dr. If you could also share your email ID and phone number on the chat box, we'd love to
Yeah,
connect.
I think I am in almost all EKF groups, because I am
Oh.
working with Mr. Jinan on cognition. We are working so hard. I think
Okay.
we identify you like extended branches of the thing. Okay, basically I'm a trained scientist in nanotechnology, quantum physics, and I work on complex system. So we understand human subjective reality of all these things are very complex things, and we have our indigenous things, you know, which is already there, but we are unable to really respect and identify those knowledge. That's why now we are actually the new modernity and new generation in this trouble. So see, now in, for example, in southern states of India, especially in like a Kerala, all this, it's considered like a, okay, once you are pregnant, it's like a, then it is a different thing. Okay, it's like a, you got some disease kind of thing. Okay, and people will like load you with a lot of advices, go there. It's actually nonsense. It's a quite natural process. Modernity converted into business. So all we suffer like that. Because my grandmother, she delivered 12 babies, just like that in home. And I have seen, I have handled more than 14 neonatals when I was in my joint family thing. I'm the eldest one. Okay, I have 14 cousins, like age of like 20, 16, 7, 8 to age of 3. like a broad age group. So I never, so I think I was blessed, but my baby is not blessed in that way. So in vacation and some time only he can go there. So really we have to think about community building and retreats and enjoy the beauty. And these kind of exchange platforms will do that job, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And maybe we can have in the future, you know, some conversations where we can invite more fathers to come in and share their experience.
Yeah, sure,
So,
sure. Actually, it's needed
you might
actually because yeah,
hosting.
actually father and mother both have this crucial role, you know. Even though I believe we have to have a platform to listen the voices of fathers. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nirmal. Sylvia, Appa, you wanted to say something, no? Are you here? She's left. Oh, okay. Anybody else? Gargi, would you like to speak something? We are just about to close in another 5-10 minutes. We have some new people today. Hina, would you like to speak? Leslie, anything at all about your experience? Gargi is going to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, Gargi.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just Febin asked me to share my experience with my, drawings. So I just want to share that art is the only language I can speak well. I'm not good with, any other languages. Because my mother tongue is Gujarati, and my grandfather, they shift to Maharashtra in his time. So uh, all our friends, they speak Marathi. My husband's mother tongue is Marathi, and so I'm not good at any language. So art is the only language that I can speak well. So I just thought that I need to communicate through my art. And I saw, many mothers struggling with breastfeeding. So I just thought that I will, uh, uh, draw and communicate through my art with all the mothers. So yeah.
Gargi, I think one day all of us mothers are going to co-write a book together,
Yeah.
and it'll come with your sketches. That'll be our cover page and all the
I'll be yeah.
your life, the way you live. I mean, you took a session on handmade homes. Your life is a piece of art. And frankly, I understand, you know, when you have babies, you know, words, the redundancy of words. It's not words. I'm very good at communication and I have good language skills and everything, but that is not what works. How you feel inside. And a child doesn't even need to hear those words. They will be so receptive to what you're feeling, and that will get communicated. And it works the same with animals. Works the same with us also, but I think we've been conditioned into it that, you know, we tend to focus more on words. But thank you so much once again for letting us use your sketches, because they speak volumes. I mean, we didn't even need to say anything when we look at it. It has meant so much. Thank you so much.
I would also like to share one, experience. When my son was 3 years old, he had tooth decay problem. So he used to nurse to sleep. So dentist told me to skip that night feeding, so that you don't have a tooth decay problem. So at that time it was difficult, but I spoke to my son that we have this problem, and doctor have asked to skip that night feeding. So uh, so he tried to understand that, and he was like he was sad, and he had tears, but I just told him that I can understand what you are going through. I know it is difficult for you and it is difficult for me also, but we have to do this for our health. So he was like, I know, but and I asked him that how can I help you? So he said, "Ki Ma, can you tell me stories so that I can, sleep well?" So it really helped me. Like if you tell them that you understand, and if you ask them how can you help them, it really helps. And one more experience, when he was 5.5, and he used to only feed when he's not well. So for 1.5 months, he didn't nurse. So because of that, my breast stopped producing milk. So after that, when he was not well and he wanted to feed, and when he tried to feed, milk was not there. So he started crying. Even I started crying because I knew that my breast stopped producing milk. And but after that, my son said that it is okay even if there is no milk. I just want to be as close to as I just want to be with you. So now whenever he is not well, he just come and latch my breast, though there is no milk, but he just want that that thing. So yeah.
Thank you, Gargi. Leslie, would you just like to share how this last week, if you're here, because you were there hosting and you participated in most of the sessions, how do you feel? Are you here? Leslie? Not sure. Okay. Evan, anybody else?
Leslie is back. Leslie is back.
Okay. She's here. Yeah. Just like how you feel after this 1 week that we've spent together. I feel like I connect with you so much.
I can't hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, here we are. Oh, so I was driving and listening to everyone today. Sorry, it took me a minute to respond. Oh, this week has meant so much to me. Thank you so much. I honestly have always found my breastfeeding tribe through the digital world, but never even with Skype. And it's so nice to see, or Zoom, it's so nice to see all your faces and hear everyone's stories. And I feel a lot of solidarity and a lot of support, and kind of a new bravery to speak up about my honest truth about breastfeeding, to support other women. And also, you know, sometimes my role models told me things that I never even knew were possible. And I think sometimes my story might seem like way out there to people. But I mean, that's okay. That's okay. So it's really nice to be in a place of no judgment, and also in a place of similar experience to some of you. And so thank you so much. It's really meant a lot.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much. Are you still driving?
I pulled over. I'm really looking forward to continuing this community in some way. I would definitely be up for weekly meetings. I think it's such a great resource. So thank you.
Inshallah. Yes. Thank you. Saban, are you here? I think if anybody else wants to say anything, because we are closing now. Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody. I guess we'll call it a day. We'll call it a week full of insights, a full week full of so much sharing, so much just pouring your hearts out. It has meant a lot to each one of us. And this is not going to stop. And we are going to continue with these dialogues, maybe once a week or however we want to do it. All these recordings will be up on the EKF channel on the 10th, hopefully, inshallah. And so I'll share the links with you on the groups that we are on. And as was suggested, I think a lot of people could not participate because of the time constraint. So once we begin with our with a continued dialogue, I think we can keep the time a little more flexible so more people can join. And we would also love to hear, it was amazing to have Dr. Nirmal to speak and share what a man feels, what a father feels. He was breastfed for 6 years, and I wish he could share more. I feel there's so much that we can learn from him because of his own experience and insights. So let's carry this on. And thank you for taking out the time to do this, everyone. Febin, thank you for getting it kick-started. All the people, Priyanka, Leslie, everybody who helped me co-host. Because when I was starting with this, I wasn't even sure if I was able to, I would be able to attend the sessions myself. I've never been on Zoom calls in all these years, but it was a safe space, and I truly, really, deeply appreciate it. We'll see you on the other side. Bye.